Okay, everyone. So the live absolutely sucked because of the service out here. So I'm going to show you again. Here's the flower garden. I'm still waiting on my azalea bushes to have some flowers. There's our humongous rose bush. I planted a bunch of wildflowers in here that's finally coming up. Those are some amaranths. And I do not know what's in the rest of these. Okay, and then over here, we've got my tote of herbs, but the only thing that has come up is our parsley and some marigolds. So a fun fact about marigolds is they supposedly keep away insects in your garden, and I know for a fact they spread like crazy. So if you grow them and you don't want them all over your yard and all in your garden, I recommend you put them in containers. But if you want them for insect repellent, I recommend you put them in your garden, but I also recommend keeping them maintained because they, again, grow like crazy and they spread everywhere and they will literally take over everything. So, fun fact about those. Here are our beef tomatoes. We've got 6 here. This last one's not very happy, but he's okay. He's still alive. That's all that matters. And then I've got sunflowers all back here in the back. You see the little babies popping up. I have our mammoth sunflowers back there and the chocolate sunflowers. If you've never seen a chocolate sunflower, look it up. They look amazing. And of course, I'll show you when ours bloom. But they are gorgeous. They're like a very deep red. So again, and you could tell that it's the chocolate ones by looking at the stem, and it's like a deep red like the flower is. So that's how you know between the mammoth and the chocolate sunflowers. And then I have our cucumbers over here. These are our big cucumbers. They're supposed to get like 8 to 10 inches. That's what I'm hoping anyways. And then, and ignore my trellis there, it's all messy. I've got to redo it. That's from last year. And then I have our squash over here. See how pretty they are? There's only 3 of them. I just planted them today. That's why I wanted to show our garden off. Okay, and then here's our wild lettuce. That is really good for pain. You cook the leaf down into, you use the sap inside the leaf. Let me grab one and I'll show you what it looks like. And it's like white. See that white stuff on my hand? That is what you cook down and you take. I don't recommend tasting it like this because it does not taste good at all. But do you see the white coming out of there? That's the sap from the lettuce. And the Indians used to use it for pain, so we are trying it out. This is our asparagus. We are not harvesting the asparagus this year because we did not have enough to eat in just one harvest. So we're just going to let them spread and continue spreading through half this garden here. Fun fact about asparagus is it takes them 3 years to get this size. These ones here, this is a 4-year-old asparagus. See how big that is? And this one was a 4-year-old asparagus. It was humongous. Look at how big it is compared to my thumb. It's huge. Asparagus also gives off a fruit that looks like these, which is really cool. I don't recommend eating them. They don't taste very good. I don't think they're good for humans. And then the other ones have pretty little flowers. See the pretty flower? They're so little. They're gorgeous. Okay. Over here we have all of our green beans. And this is my nice trellises that I just did this year for them. In the middle there are our mustard greens that's still left over from the winter time. So I'm letting them continue to grow because I don't waste. Never waste if I can help it. So in front here are our Cherokee green beans. And they look like, I know I have one over here. They look like this right here. See how it's yellow? So those are the Cherokee green beans. And then we have Blue Lake green beans back here. That's the last 3 rows. They have not started producing yet. It is still really early for them, so I'm surprised the other one's actually giving me stuff. And then over here, I just planted some babies. Aren't they so cute? So we got strawberries in the back. I have them guarded with fence and stems and stuff like that to keep the squirrels away from them because they like to sneak and eat all my strawberries. We've got the first 2 rows back there is our okra. And those are the super seed okra that get like 10 feet high. So I cannot wait till they grow. And then we've got the next 2 rows are pepperoncinis. And you see I left a little space right here in between. That's going to be for our bell peppers. I only have 5 of them that came up. So that's going to be for that. And then these are our jalapenos right here. We got those from the high school, and these are the ones that I winter sowed. So I just planted them today. As you can see, I planted them up to the very tippy top, as high as I possibly could without hiding the leaves to protect them. And I learned that it's a good way to, shape the dirt in this type of way because it helps hold moisture in the little divots. So I'm learning as I go. Over here, I planted a bunch of baby flowers. I don't see anything coming up yet, but I'm hoping some wildflowers and zinnias and some stuff will pop up for our bees. It was my little makeshift ghetto garden area over there. And then over here is our blueberry bushes and blackberry bushes. All right, y'all. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye.